Good morning, everybody. Today we will start our third lesson, that is Values in Life, which is written by Rudyard Kipling. So let's begin with the introduction of the lesson. Rudyard Kipling was an English poet and novelist who is remembered for his children's books, including the ever popular The Jungle Book and Kim, and for his many stories and poems written about the British in India during the Raj. As we know that Rudyard Kipling was an English poet and novelist also, and he is particularly remembered for his uh, books that he written for children, including the popular book The Jungle Book and Kim, and for his many short stories and poems which is written by him during the British rule in India. He was a strong advocate of the British Empire, and he was the supporter of British Empire. Kipling was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907. Moreover, he was also the receiver of the prestigious award Nobel Prize in Literature, which he has got in 1907. And he was also offered a knighthood many times, several times, but he declined to receive the honor of knighthood. Values in Life appears in a book of words in 1921, a volume of Kipling's collected speeches. And Values in Life, this particular lesson, which appears in a book of words in 1928, and a volume of Kipling's collected speeches. The address was originally delivered in the fall of 1907 to the students at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. Actually, this is the address which Rudyard Kipling had delivered to the students of McGill University in Montreal, Canada in 1907. So let's begin what is there in his address. According to the ancient and laudable custom of the schools, I, as one of your wandering scholars returned, have been instructed to speak to you. And here Rudyard Kipling says that, means according to the ancient and laudable custom of the schools, means he has been instructed and he has been returned as a wandering scholar, and that's why he has been instructed to speak to the students. He has been instructed to speak to the students. The only penalty youth must pay for its enviable privileges is that of listening to the people, known, alas, to be older and alleged to be wiser. And he also said that the only penalty that youth must pay for its inenviable privileges, and that penalty is that to listen to people which are known, and alas, to be older and alleged to be wiser. And this is the penalty that youth must pay of listening to the people who are known, who are older, and who are alleged to be wiser. This is the penalty that youth must pay, that youth must pay for listening. Okay, so this is the most important thing in this lesson, that youth must pay the penalty. Youth must pay the penalty of listening to the people who are known, older, and be wiser. On such occasions, youth feigns an air. Feigns means pretend. On such occasions, youth feigns an air of polite interest and reverence. Reverence means what we can say, respect. So, on such occasions, Rudyard Kipling says that youth feigns means youth pretend an air of polite interest and reverence. Means youth shows that when youth listen to someone at that time, on such occasions, youth feigns, youth pretends that they are listening whatever things the lecturer or the chief guest was whatever the lecturer delivered the things in his lecture, means the youth just feigns or pretends that they are listening, or they have the quiet interest in that lecture, or means they behave politely at that time, while age tries to look virtuous, which pretenses sit uneasily on both of them. On such occasions, very little truth is spoken. Further, he stated that, means on such occasions, very little truth is spoken. म्हणजे अशा अशा वेळेला खास करून किंवा अशा प्रसंगामध्ये खूप कमी प्रमाणात सत्य बोलल्या जाते. I will try not to depart from the convention. And he also stated that he will try, while his lecture is going on at that time, means he will try not to depart from this program or from the convention or from the assembly. I will not tell you how the sins of youth are due very largely to its virtues, how its arrogance is very often the result of its innate shyness. And he further stated that he is not going to tell to the students that how the sins of youth are due very largely to its virtues, or how its arrogance is very often the result of its innate shyness, how its brutality is the outcome of its natural virginity of spirit. Means he stated that he is not going to tell about the virtues and vices and arrogancies and shyness and other things, or the brutality of the youth. Means he is not going to tell all about those things. These things are true, and whatever things he stated in his lecture, all those things are true, but your perceptors might object to such texts without the proper notes and emendations. But according to Kipling, means the students perceptions might object to such type of text, without the proper notes and emendations, म्हणजे correction. But I can try to speak to you more or less truthfully on certain matters to which you may give the attention and belief proper to your ears. But further he stated that, means he can try to speak to the students more or less truthfully on certain matters. Certain matters are there. On those certain matters, he wants to speak with the students, to which you may give the attention and believe proper to your ears. And those certain matters, or due to those certain matters, the students may give their attention towards the speaker and the belief proper to the students' ears. And that's why he wanted to speak on the certain matters, so that the attention of the students should be received from his part, should be received by him. When to use a detestable phrase, you go out into the battle of life, you will be confronted by an unorganized conspiracy, which will try to make you believe that the world is governed by the idea of wealth for wealth's sake. Further, he stated that when to use a detestable phrase, when to use an offensive phrase, you go out into the battle of life. Means if you are living your life, that is the battle of your life. And while living your life, you will be confronted by an organized conspiracy, which will try to make you believe that the world is governed by the idea, and that while you living, means the students living their lives at that time, the students go out into the battle of life, and at that time they will be confronted by an organized conspiracy. At that time they will be confronted, they will be encountered by an organized conspiracy. म्हणजे मध्ये गुंतून जातील, समोरासमोर येईल, and which will try to make you believe, which will try to make the students believe that the world is governed by the idea, and that idea is wealth for wealth's sake. This is the idea, and of that idea, means that idea is organized conspiracy. And while students living their lives at that time, students may confront by this organized conspiracy, and that conspiracy is wealth for wealth's sake, and that all means which lead to the acquisition of that wealth are, if not laudable, at least expedients. And in your life means when you acquire wealth, you acquire wealth because wealth for wealth's sake, and when you acquire wealth at that time, that wealth is not laudable, at least expedience means appropriate, you should acquire appropriate wealth. Those of you who have fitly imbibed the spirit of our university, and it was not a materialistic university which trained a scholar to take both the Craven and the Ireland in England, will violently resent that thought, but you will live and eat and move and have your being in a world dominated by that thought. Further, he stated that those of you, mean the students who have fitly imbibed, have fitly received the spirit of our university, means everyone has the spirit of our college, everyone has the spirit of our university, everyone has the spirit of our country. In the same way, he stated that those of you, the students, those of you who have fitly imbibed the spirit of our university, and it was not materialistic university, it was not the materialistic university which trained the scholar to take both the Craven and the Ireland in England, will violently resent that thought, means that thought will be resent violently, but you will live and eat and move and have your being in a world dominated by that thought, by the spirit of that thought. Some of you will probably succumb to the poison of it, succumb, poison of it. And some of you, some of the students of you will definitely, or we can say probably, succumb, means consent to the poison of it. Now, I do not ask you not to be carried away by the first rush of the great game of life. Further, he stated that he is not going to ask you not to be carried away by the first rush of the great game of life. Means he stated here that not to be rush of the great game of life. Means not to be carried out, not to be carried out the first rush or the game of life that is expecting you to be more than human, and means the people will expect from you that to behave more than human. But I do not ask you after the first hit of the game that you draw breathe and watch your fellows for a while. Sooner or later you will see some man to whom the idea of wealth as mere wealth does not appeal. But further he stated that there are there are number of people who love towards wealth, but there are few people in an entire world, those people will not love towards wealth, or they do not like much wealth, or they do not like wealth at all. Sooner or later you will see some man to whom the idea of wealth as mere wealth does not appeal, and there are uh, very, we can say, few number of people or more number of people in the world, they do not love wealth, they do not love wealth, or we can say wealth does not appeal them, whom the methods of amassing that wealth do not interest. And such type of people who do not love wealth, and for such type of people whom the methods of amassing wealth डू नॉट इंटरेस्ट, आणि अशा प्रकारचे जे लोक असतात ज्यांना पैसा कलेक्ट करणं किंवा पैसा जमवणं, संपत्ती गोळा करून ठेवणं याच्यामध्ये काहीही इंटरेस्ट नसतो. अँड हू विल नॉट ऍक्सेप्ट मनी if you offer it to him at a certain price. And these type of people will not interested in money, and they are not going to accept money if you offer them ॲट अ सर्टेन प्राइस. आणि अशा पद्धतीचे लोक म्हणजे कधीही पैशाच्या प्रेमात नसतात, संपत्तीच्या प्रेमात नसतात, संपत्तीचा मोह त्यांना नसतो. आणि अशा प्रकारच्या लोकांना तुम्ही कितीही पैसा ऑफर केला तरीही ते तुमचा पैसा कधीही ऍक्सेप्ट करणार नाही. आय होप दॅट यू आर गेटिंग इट. At first, you will be inclined to laugh at this man and to think that he is not smart in his idea. And if there is some person who is not interested in wealth at all, at that time, what you are thinking about that person? So here Rudyard Kipling is telling that at first you will be inclined to laugh at this man. Means when you see such type of people in your life, they do not interested in wealth. At that time, at first you will be inclined to laugh at this man. अशा पद्धतीच्या माणसांवर you will incline to laugh towards the people who are not interested in wealth and to think that he is not smart in his idea. Moreover, you will think about these people or about such person that he is not smart in his ideas. आणि तुम्हाला असं सुद्धा वाटेल, म्हणजे तुम्ही अशा लोकांवर हसाल. एवढंच नाही तर तुम्ही असा सुद्धा विचार कराल की हा जो माणूस आहे या माणसा म्हणजे हा माणूस स्मार्ट नाही, याला पैशाचं महत्वच नाही. I suggest that you watch him closely, for he will presently demonstrate to you that money dominates everybody except the man who does not want money. And further, he stated here that I suggest that you watch him closely. मग लेखक आपल्याला सांगतात, सुचवतात की अशा माणसाचं तुम्ही जवळून निरीक्षण केलं पाहिजे. For he will presently demonstrate to you that money dominates everybody except the man who does not want money. And further, that fellow will demonstrate to you, or that fellow who is not interested in wealth, that will tell you that money dominates everybody except the man who does not want money or who does not have the interest in money. म्हणजे मग असा व्यक्ती म्हणजे तो डेमॉन्स्ट्रेशन करेल, प्रदर्शन करेल की असे काही लोक आहे किंवा त्या माणसाला तुम्ही पैशाची भुरळ कदापिही भुरळीमध्ये पाळू शकत नाही, लालचेमध्ये टाकू शकत नाही, ज्या माणसाला पैशामध्ये इंटरेस्टच नाही. मग अशा माणसाला where we can meet such type of fellows, then writer stated that you may meet that man on your farm, in your village or in your legislature. मग अशा पद्धतीच्या माणसं आपल्याला कुठे मिळतील तर you may meet such type of fellows on your farm, in your village, in your city, or wherever you go, you can meet such type of people also in our society. But be sure that whenever or wherever you meet him, as soon as it comes to a direct issue between you, his little finger will be thicker than your lions. It means that whenever you meet such a fellow or whenever you have an encounter with such type of people, then he will be more powerful than you. His little finger will be thicker than you. Your lions means he will be more powerful than you. He will be more strong than you. Means whenever you meet such fellow, then you will not defeat that fellow because he is more powerful than you, he is more wise than you, or we can say he is more stronger than you. You will go in fear of him, he will not go in fear of you. Means that fellow will not be fear of you. You may be fear of him, but he will not be in fear of you. You will do what he wants, he will not do what you want. And whatever he wants from you, or you may do, you will definitely do what he wants, but he will not do what you want. म्हणजे त्या माणसाला काय वाटते तो माणूस तुमच्याकडून करून घेईल ते सगळे काम, परंतु तुम्ही त्या माणसाकडून कुठलंही काम करून घेऊ शकणार नाही. You will find that you have no weapon in your armory with you in your armory which you can attack him, no argument with which you can appeal to him. And you will also find that in your armory there is no weapon with which you can attack with that person, or there is no argument with which you can appeal to that fellow. Means there is no any weapon in your armory with which you can attack to that fellow, or there is no argument with which you can appeal to him. म्हणजे तुम्हाला असं समजून जाईल की तुमच्या आर्मरीमध्ये किंवा तुमच्या शस्त्रसाठ्यामध्ये असं कोणतंही शस्त्र नाही ज्या शस्त्राने तुम्ही त्या माणसावर अटॅक कराल किंवा त्या माणसाला हरवाल, किंवा तुमच्याजवळ असं अशी कोणतीही आर्ग्युमेंट नाही ज्या आर्ग्युमेंटमुळे तुम्ही त्या व्यक्तीला रिक्वेस्ट कराल किंवा अपील कराल. व्हॉट एव्हर यू गेन ही विल गेन मोर, अँड व्हॉट एव्हर यू गेन when you meet to that fellow, whatever you gain, that fellow will definitely gain more than you. So here I would like to stop. Thank you very much for listening me patiently. We will definitely sum up this lesson in the next lecture. We will finish it. So thank you very much for listening me patiently. Thank you.